because you, what is the aim of being here, or the purpose? What do we say? To discover, that's why we use the term self-inquiry, or self-discovery, or self-realization. Because what is to realize? Here we say that in spiritual language, to realize has two meanings. We have a new meaning, because to realize in everyday language, to realize what is? Darse cuenta de algo, to realize. And here we talk about the realization of the self, that if we have to put it in Spanish, we say la realización del ser. And what is to realize the self? Is to recognize or to acknowledge our true nature, what we really are. And it had to do with a kind of deleting of our identity. It is, but not in the way that a cult uses it. It is to recognize or to realize ourselves means what? To be aware that we are not only humans and individuals, that we are spiritual beings. And that is our true nature. That this body that we have is only like a costume. And we can use it as a tool to manifest our real nature. But for this, we have to what? We have to be aware of what we are. And that is why our masters, when we listen, for example, to a contemplation or to a meditation of Mushi, he said, you have to be empty, empty, empty. What is to be empty? Not to be identified with our identity, but to make space for God to manifest. That is, and this is the other meaning of realization. Realization of the self. Well, my friend, so here we are. This is a very beautiful talk. We can listen a part of it. It is called this, Making Life Spiritual Adventure. And I like this because this is another way of the way of modern spirituality. That what happened in the previous century, maybe, if you were spiritual, you have to live a separate life from the world. That's why the nuns and the priests and the monks, that they went to another, they don't live in the world, because they were kind of separate things. But in our times, we have another challenge that is different. What is the challenge? To live in the world, not to reject the world or to get out of the world, but to live in the world as spiritual beings. So this video, and this talk is a way of saying and of telling us how to live in this way nowadays. Okay, well, we are going to watch a part, the first part, and then we are going to comment what is said. That is very, very beautiful. Let me share the screen with the video. From here, I think. Have to share the sound.
Paramahansaji. It's from the title talk, Solving the Mystery of Life. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but I think you're ready for it. Guruji says, "The peace of my life is apart from anything going on around me. The peace of my life is apart from anything going on around me. That is the way I have solved the mysteries of life." This is part of our theme going forward for tonight. What does it mean exactly? The peace of my life is apart. That means separate from everything going on around me. He's making a separation between what is going on within him and what is going on in the world all around him. It's a declaration of inner freedom from outer conditions. Guruji's inner peace of heart and mind is constant and with God. It's not fluctuating with changing conditions of life. This seems like a simple statement, but actually it's quite profound. Because we are human. If outer conditions are favorable, then we're happy. If people around us are in conflict, we are defensive and maybe angry. We are always reacting to what's going on around us, and our consciousness is changing. If events around us seem unjust or unfair, we may feel insulted or even feel cheated. But the ancient science of Raja Yoga says to us, do not depend on ever-changing outer conditions to define your inner experience. So we want to avoid the insecurity imposed by the world. We want to discover a secret joy within ourselves, sourced in the soul, and then train ourselves to draw from the secret inner resource. And following this guidance, we can live a more dynamic, fulfilling life. Our life can become truly a spiritual adventure. The peace of my life is apart from anything going on around me. And he makes an even stronger declaration. He says, no matter where I am, the joy of God is always with me. We need that. Wherever I am, no matter where I am, the joy of God is always with me. You know, I like these anthologies.
Okay, let's stop a bit here and share these words. It is very beautiful because he talks about what is this inner joy or inner happiness that we have when we are connected with our true nature. And then that it's a joy that what? That doesn't depend on outer circumstances. And It's the great change we have to do. This is the challenge we have in these times. But I think that this is part of evolution of humanity, in fact, because I think that you know that what we feel sometimes, that we want to be spiritual, but it would be easier if we don't have the life we have. How can we be spiritual if we have to work, if we have a lot of problems, if we have a family? What can we remain spiritual? Because we have the feeling that we are spiritual only at the beginning of the day if we choose to meditate and to join the group, and we have this moment, and then all is over. All is finished. And this is the challenge, because yes, it is true that maybe for the monks and for the nuns and for the spiritual life as it was understood and as it was lived before, some years ago, that only and I grew up with this mindset that spirituality has to do with was not for all the people. It was for the one who choose it. And if you choose, let's think about this, that it is a great difference, that we grew up with the belief that God and the world were different things, that they cannot live together. That if we choose God, we have to leave aside everything else. And it is not like this. The good news is that we have to, the challenge and the beautiful thing is that we don't have to leave aside anything. We can go on with our life, because all of us have a mission and have a purpose in this life. But we have, if we discover and if we embrace this way of living, the relationship with the world is changed. It is not that we have to leave aside or abandon or quit all the other things. And this have to do with what? With priorities. Well, so, and if we, how this way of this change in the relationship with the world can be put into practice. What is the great tool that we have? This, to discover first this joy, this happiness, and that our happiness does not depend on outer things or outer results or outcomes. Okay.
I have
yes.
This morning I want to talk.
Yes, yes, yes.
No. But the other day I was talking to my son about this. Perhaps I don't have the tools to express in words what I want to say to him. But I was talking about this because I said to him that the most defiant es desafiante.
Challenging.
The most challenging thing that he has to do is to be good with him no matter what happens around him. Because he was talking about things that, well, my father, the university, the things.
Yes.
So I told him that he has to find the way that being okay with that things, and he has to be good with him, no matter what happens. And he started to say a lot of things that I couldn't answer. But he said that, well, you are saying that I have to be, ¿cómo se dice? Conformista,
Yes,
to be a mediocre, because I have to accept everything. I don't want to change it. So I start to say to him a lot of things, but I wasn't very convincing, and then start to fight. So I stopped the conversation. But I only wanted to say to him this, that you have to be good no matter what happens around you, and you have to, not to be good, you have to learn to be good. You have to do the effort to find the way to be in peace or good, no matter what happens around you. But I couldn't transmit that to him. We start to fight.
But yes, because
Sorry.
yes.
Can I read something to Rumi? Maybe it's in Spanish, but maybe it's really perfect for this moment.
Yes.
A ver. Lo tengo acá. Yes. La auténtica verdad de la existencia está sellada hasta después de muchos giros y revueltas del camino. Entonces el buscador dice, si hubiera sabido cómo era realmente, habría abandonado toda esa búsqueda. Pero ese saber depende del tiempo dedicado a buscar. Aquí está el agua de la vida y la estoy bebiendo, pero tenía que hacer tan largo viaje para darme cuenta.
Yes.
So Vito don't worry.
Yes,
because
yes,
it's like
has
this.
to.
It's not perfect the way. It's perfect like this.
No, there are two things that you have to take into account. And to be at peace with yourself also. This has to do, one thing has to do with acceptance. That it is not a resignation, as we have already said. And I understand you because perfectly and truly, because we have this example now of that touches us deeply, and it is the relationship with our sons. Because our sons we have the blessing of being mothers or being fathers, and we have that our sons are the first proof of unconditional love. And so it is here later on, there is a phrase, I don't know, at the end of that it talks about what we as fathers feel for our sons, that I choose it to no, it's well, we will see it. Acá, here. We want, let's see this. It's perfect for this moment. We want our children to be spared from the hardships of life, don't we? And
Traducir, please, this
to be spared from the hardships of life. O sea, queremos que nuestros hijos,
yes.
librarlos a nuestros hijos de las cosas difíciles de la vida. Hardship es de las situaciones difíciles. O sea, queremos que
no sufran.
Que no sufran, tal cual. And our parents wanted the same for us. But planet Earth does not offer 100% smooth incarnation. It's just not in our contract for you that are lawyers. Haven't you read the fine print? Even
La letra chica sería de fine print.
Yes. Even if we live smart, there are always going to be daunting challenges. Daunting is difficult.
Daunting, ¿qué es? Es una palabra que no...
Daunting is like, yes.
Difficult.
Yes, or it has to do with mystery, with uncertain challenges, something that unexpected comes and we don't know how to solve it. It has to do with something that is mysterious or uncertain. Okay, I will mark this and then I will send you some examples. And look at this phrase. A wise philosopher once said, one of my favorite quotes, you meet your destiny on the road you take to avoid it. It is like this. And in relation with respect or as regards our sons, there are two things that I have learned since I started this path. One is that it is very good and it's useful and it's part of our mission to talk with them when we can, when there is the opportunity to talk about these things. But the best thing we can do is to be this, what we are trying to convey them. Because sometimes words are not enough, because they are very mental. They want to, because they have grown up with this in this environment and with this way of learning. They don't know other way. So what you say to them, they immediately take to the. They try to put examples and to solve it into the mental way. But there are other ways. If you develop and get rooted in this, you can convey or you can transmit this to them in another way, and they will take advantage of it in the long term or in the midterm, whatever. Yes. This is one thing. And other is connected with what Jose said, or with this phrase, that every soul has its unique path in life. And you can't spare, you can spare them from this. And they have to live the experience. And it is, sometimes it's difficult for us, but we have to think about us and how we get there, we get here at this point in life, because of experiencing and experiencing and experiencing. And then the experience is the best teacher. So if we don't live the life as, and the phrase, this phrase that all has a purpose, is that, and all the experiences, all of us receive the experience that we have to live in this life. And sometimes it's difficult, because what happens is like this, that we don't want them to suffer, but well, they have to live an experience. And I have, and there is the most powerful thing and energy is love. So, and love has many ways of manifesting, and sometimes we have to our love for our children manifest in this way, in acceptance, but not resignation. Acceptance with love, with this inner conviction. In this case that you have mentioned, it's perfect. That sometimes you are talking, all is good, and it comes to a point that you feel that with words you cannot convey what you're trying to explain. That words are not enough, because they cannot understand, or they cannot grasp what you are trying. Well, at this moment, it is good that it is a moment to stop and to say, well, because what happens? We become identified with identity, and there are what, when the fight comes, there are two egos trying to explain from the point of view what they are, and it's not like this. It is not. You have what? You are identified with every. I am the one who have the who is right, and it is not like this. So at this moment, it is time to stop and to get rooted, and to send love to him in another way, and they will find a way. And this is very powerful. We think that the only tool we have is our words, but it is not like this. So don't despair. Okay.
Guruji said that you don't have despair to explain the ideas. So only acting yourselves, because then the people who are around you and look at you, the change of behavior, beginning to ask what happened with my father, with my mother, who is acting, and then they come close to take an advice or to talk or to make help. It's more easy, but we had to work with our ego to
Yes.
to wait the perfect moment to make this conversation.
Yes.
So be quédate tranquila, Vito.
Yes. And it's all comes, you know that all is perfect because why all this happen? It happens for us to look, or and a way of taking advantage of this because you have the feeling that you have lost, that you wanted to say something and he didn't get it, and you feel disappointed with yourself sometimes. I couldn't do it. And no, you have to persist and to get rooted in what is real and what is. I love the phrase of Papaji that of this phrase, I have the book in my room. The title of the book that says, "The truth is." Yes, the truth is. O sea, they can't see it now, but it doesn't mean that the truth will change.
Our son is our masters.
Yes.
And I explain in Spanish una anécdota con mi hijo del medio, que es el más parecido a mí. Y yo le di un consejo, como desde mi ego, sábelo todo, mucho mayor que él, experimentado. Y él me dijo, tu consejo es como la pizza. Y yo le dije, ¿qué pizza? Y dice, yo no la pedí. Y yo entendí, me quedó, ¿no? Cuando me pidan, se lo doy. Si no, nada.
Yeah. They have to live their own experience. It's like this. And we are in I love this opportunity that we have, that life has brought us, has given us, Vito, that we have sons that they have the same age. God gave us this gift, and they are at the time of their lives that they are becoming adults. And so they are facing all these challenges. And for us, yes, it's difficult sometimes. It's hard, but it is also a great challenge to our ego, as Pablo says. So we can take advantage of this. Well, my friend, we can we have a very beautiful talk this today. That's why I love this meeting. We can read the first part that we have. This is the transcription of some parts of the video we have watched. And then for today, they are resuming the reading of the yoga of Jesus, Pablo, because they have stopped the previous weekend. They didn't do it because of the convention, I think. Okay, and it is at 10. Well, it says, so we can
read
this part. Yes.
From minuto 8:21.
Yes, or well, the first sentence you can read it because it is an explanation of what is the video about.
This making life a spirit adventure. Work on 2025.
2025, very good. This is the word of saying years in English.
Yes. Self-realization fellowship, no?
Very
World
good.
convention. This video convocation. This video is part of the 2025 self-realization following World Convocation, a free program of online classes on Paramahansa Yogananda's How to Live teachings.
How to live.
How to live
teaching.
Guruji says, yes. Can you see?
That this is the the difference between life and to live. The verb and the noun. And
Guruji says, okay, sorry.
No, that this phrase, how to we are seeing Paramahansa Yogananda's how to live teachings. It has to do with the relationship that of being spiritual, but being in the world, how to live in the world, not how to live apart from the world. Okay.
Guruji says, the peace of my life is apart from anything going on around me. That is the way I have solved the mysteries of life.
This is the way I have solved
the mysteries of life.
Yes.
He's making a separation between what is going on within him and what is going on in the world all around him. It is a declaration of inner freedom from other conditions. Guruji's inner peace of heart and mind is constant and with God. It is not fluctuated with changing conditions of life.
Fluctuated. Sometimes the U is pronounced as an A, close.
It is not fluctuated with changing conditions of life. This seems like a simple statement, but actually it's quite profound. It's quite profound because we are human. If other conditions are favorable, then we are happy.
If human conditions are and the A
favorable
sometimes is A.
Favorable.
If outer conditions, yes, it seems here it says it seems like a simple statement, but it is not that simple because what happens? If outer condition, we are human. This is another. Remember that the H in English is pronounced like our J. Human. In Spanish it's silent, but in English we pronounce it. Because we are human, and what happens? If outer conditions are favorable, we are happy. And go on.
If people around around us are in conflicts. We are defensive and maybe angry. We are always reacting to what's going around us, and our consciousness is changing.
Yes, this is this is something that happens.
Yes.
Always, it is an example of what happened with you and who was Gasparo or Beltrán?
Your sons.
Ya sabemos quién.
Yes.
I know. It's matter for me.
Yes. Okay.
We need these frictions to learn
yes.
to profound.
And what happens when the other defies us? O sea, cuando el otro nos desafía. We feel we are defensive and maybe angry. We are always reacting to what's going on around us. And our consciousness is changing. What does it mean? That we are at peace, we are rooted, we are here, and when someone says something that we don't like, we react. And yes, and this we may feel insulted or even cheated. What is to be cheated? Estafado.
Cheated, yes, engañado, ¿no?
Yes, engañado. Here, I wrote the meaning of cheated. Means you believe you didn't get what you deserved, or that life or someone else treated you unfairly. This is to be cheated.
Unfairly, no confiable sería, ¿no? ¿O algo así?
Unfairly es
No,
injustamente.
Injusto.
Injustamente.
Something fair es something
fair,
algo justo. Sí. Unfairly es injustamente. Okay. So, but what happens?
Me perdí ahí. If
Here.
events around us seems unjust or unfair, we may feel insulted or even feel cheated.
Cheated.
Cheated. But the ancient science of Raja Yoga says to us, don't not depend on ever-changing outer conditions to define your inner experience.
Okay.
Continue or no?
Well,
yes. Other.
Let's this is what we have to learn or to realize. This is the example of him that we have to learn to live like this. But it seems simple. It is not that simple, but it is not impossible. What is the key thing here? That we have to discover this inner happiness and to connect with this and to learn bit by bit to pay more attention to this. And so is because, well, and we all that the things that life brings us are examples and are these situations are for us to see this and to be more rooted in it every time, bit by bit, more and more. Because, for instance, the situation of you with Beltrán, that no matter what he says or what he believes, or your joy has to be there and your peace and to remain there. But and sometimes you need to stop talking and to just to feel and to remain here and this is the way. But you have to learn this. You have to learn this. That's
Vito,
what happens.
Yes.
Experience of mother of father is like this. How? No? That's this and that. Decir aquello, decir esto. Tener situaciones, o sea, ¿no? Si no, ¿cómo
Yeah.
sería? Ser madre o padre. Todo.
Yes.
It's our,
O hijo.
yes, and it's our
O
experience
sobrino.
also.
Sobrino.
It's our
Yes.
experience. Es lo que
Yeah.
nosotros necesitamos. We need to experience also. Well, my friends, so as not to, I want to, today we are, we finish here the text, then we, next Saturday we will go on with this, that there are many, you know that they always set examples of everyday life, and here it's very, very, this for me it was very touching because after this the monk says, the brother says, let's put this in context, and when this was said by Yogananda in February, it was a day after my birthday. In February 1940, and it was at this time, it was the Second World War, and he was talking about peace. The world was at war. It was a very difficult situation, and he said this at this time. So it is very powerful. It's a clear example, and then he gives another example of how was Yogananda as a man, and that he was always living like this, with this joy, no matter what happens. She gives another example that is very beautiful and very funny, that he was when he was at the States, and then he made a trip to Europe and to India in 1930, before the Second World War, and he take with him a car. And for that time, the car was something that it was weird, and they had to. They used the car to go in India to a place, and the roads were not prepared for the car. So when someone saw him in the car, they said, "Well, you'd better leave the car if you want to get to that place, because it won't work with the car." And he persists. And there is a story, and then we will read it, that he had an assistant that who was driving, and the assistant told him, "Well, we can't go on." And the only words of him were onward, onward, como diciendo, dale, vos dale nomás. Que no importa que el camino no nos favorezca, and they get to the place with the car. So, well, it's a question of, and always with great joy. Well, my friends, to finish, we are going to do the meditation. They do the meditation that it lasts 5 or 6 minutes. I am trying here at the minute 55. Let's do the meditation so we finish like it today. Okay. Entonces será.
Vito, to know to Paramahansa Yogananda, you can read this book.
Yes, the person Sartorius, he said that they read at that time Autobiografía de un Yogi. He said that
Yes.
they meet to read that book.
Yes,
You
I
talked
can.
about the book.
I have the book, so I can lend it to you if you want.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, that is playing his life and his meaning in his earth.
Well, and this episode that I have just told is told in the book.
In the book.
It says the brother said that it is told in that the assistant of Paramahansa Yogananda was called Richard Wright, and the episode of the car is told in the chapter 46, I think, of the book. Well,
Thank you.
Creo que acá, un poquito, acá por acá, empieza. Epa.
And draw a slow, gentle, inhaling breath. Exhale gently with a sigh. We are all together of one heart, one mind, one purpose, one divine aspiration. Feel the sacredness of this moment together. Feel gratitude in your heart for the gift of this week together. Draw a slow, gentle, inhaling breath. Exhale with a sigh. Feel the bubble of inspiration, a little bubble of joy. Feel that now. It makes you want to cry. This is the joy of God beginning to manifest within you. Concentrate upon it. Feel it beginning to expand. Feel it growing stronger. There, can you feel it now? It's responding to your call. Now we want to take this little bubble of joy and cultivate it. Hold on to it. Treasure it as the sacred presence of God within you. And promise yourself that you will not let it go. Peace. Amen.
Well, my friend, thank you. I feel like the sound of the music that he played at the end, it takes me immediately to the chapel of my school time. There was I don't know how it is said in Spanish, un armonio había en la capilla, in the chapel of the school. And there was a nun that played the armonio. La hermana Poco, le decían. And we had a subject at school that was sacred chants, maybe we can put the title. Canto sagrado se llamaba. Teníamos una materia and the nun played the harmonium. And the sound was very beautiful. Now I realize, but at that time we feel very bored because the nun was playing the harmonium with. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for this beautiful meeting. And let's try to remember and don't forget this inner joy we have always inside, within. That is what? That is the joy of God. Let's cultivate it, as the brothers say. Cultivémosla. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, and see you. See you next week.
Buen fin de.
Bye bye.
See you.